Welcome back and hello if you're new. So today I'm going to be talking about two fantastic bands that recently teamed together for a UK and European tour, and I was lucky enough to see them on their London date on the 11th of July at the Underworld. Up first were Palm Reader. Now, I've heard so much about Palm Reader. I've got their absolutely fantastic album Braille and the album previous to that. It was my first time seeing the band live, and I've heard that they're such a force to be reckoned with. And when the band took the stage, there may not necessarily have been sort of like as much movement as maybe we might have liked, but that was absolutely sensational as a set. Palm Reader's meld of hardcore, you know, this kind of Dillinger meets Converge with somewhat post-rock is absolute genius. And by the end of it, the band had really converted pretty much the whole room, as everyone was kind of screaming for more. Overall, the set was very Braille heavy, which, hey, I'm not complaining about. Tracks like Swarm, Like a Wave, Internal Winter, they were all absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot urge you enough to get their record Braille. It's honestly one of the best records I've discovered this year. Sadly, however, the set was plagued with sound issues. It all started with Andy's guitar. It was just too loud. I don't know if that was actually the band themselves or if it was the sound guy, but it kind of dwarfed over all the other instruments, and it was something that also happened with the Contortionist as well. But aside from that, their set was nothing short of phenomenal. So moving on to our headline act, the Contortionist. This is actually the first London headliner that the Contortionist have ever had. Unfortunately, I missed them with their support slot with Periphery over at the Kenchtown Forum. They took a while to come on. They're sort of, I feel like the lights dimmed a little bit too early because there was sort of 2 tracks and then an intro track, and it was just a bit like, oh, are you guys gonna kind of get here or what? But at the end of it, everything was fine, and the crowd loved every single second of it. The Contortionists are, you know, fairly well known for their kind of quite placid sound that was on Language and Clairvoyant, but it was just amazing to be able to see the band, you know, flip from this kind of placid to this mental sound that is on Exoplanet. It was incredible to see the crowd being so receptive to not only the old material, but the heavier sound. And literally you could tell when those heavier tracks came in because the whole place would just be bouncing up and down. It was also amazing to see that the band were able to kind of create this, almost like a tether, where there wasn't really necessarily a section where there was quiet, even throughout, you know, the changeovers where the band would change guitars or whatever. There was always some form of sound going on, and it really created a very cohesive package. However, when it does come to sound, there are a couple of issues. The guitars on the left, so stage right, and the keyboards were way too loud. Like, to the point where when I went out of there, I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know what this has done to my hearing. It's just such a shame because that sort of, the levels, particularly with the Contortionist, is so important because you've got so many different elements going on that you need to have the levels right. And I feel like their sound man just kind of screwed it up a bit because it was so loud. In terms of the vibe, everyone was enjoying it. They were into every single track that the band played, and it also showcased just how beautiful the Contortionist can be and just how deadly they can be as well. For example, with Oscillator and Flourish, who's like, they were absolutely ridiculously heavy. Not to mention there was an element of showmanship as well. Not to mention that Michael Lessard himself is such a fantastic singer, and he brings such an added dynamism to the band. In terms of their set list, it was a brilliant set list that showcased material from Language, Exoplanet, Clairvoyant. I mean, obviously it was kind of Clairvoyant heavy, and it was really great to see these new tracks and have such a big reception. For example, Reimagined was absolutely incredible, and the second that the crowd knew that that dum 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 bass line was coming in. It was just deafening. And then they ended with Language 1 and 2 put together, which was absolutely fantastic. And it was just amazing to be able to see that the Contortionist have got this live presence, and it's just been such a long time since they've been back that I really, really missed them. I cannot wait to see the Contortionist again. Make sure, if you can, to check them out, because they are one of the best prog bands in the world at the moment. And their set was nothing short of phenomenal, despite those small sound issues. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, make sure to turn that notification bell on so you can see when I upload. Drop a comment, and I'll see you guys next time for another gig review. Thank you so much. All right.